Did I break it? Hello everyone, welcome to today's stream of 19 July 2014.
Yes, welcome to the Novus AEterno live stream, where we once again demonstrate how we are the most pro stream on the internet, one technical hiccup at a time. I'm Pyrodante, and I am joined by a lot of people today. We've got Luke and Nick, who you guys have seen a lot, and then we've got Tom, who's always a delight to have, and Daniel, our sound engineer, who's got some cool stuff to talk to us about. So today is going to be a little bit different, hopefully. This is almost a throwback to our earlier live streams because we have so much to talk about. Today's just going to be a blast of information for the most part. But before we get into that, how you doing, Nick?
Nick, you're muted. Oh my god.
Nick? Yes!
Technical hiccup number one! We are awesome!
No, this is not technical difficulty, that's just our default intro.
We're so good at this!
I know. We are just too good, and Dan's webcam has died again.
Yes.
I gave up on it.
Just wave from the back of Tom's webcam.
There you go.
There's Dan, everybody.
Oh, we're so pro. How you been, Nick? How's things holding together?
Been very good, actually. We have just a shitload of progress to talk about, and like an insane amount of questions. So I recommend we start blasting through the questions so we actually get talking about all the cool stuff. So let's see how many questions we can answer as quickly as possible while making as few hiccups as possible.
Maybe someone posted a link to the questions in the chat so people can actually read with us. Oh god, my map is even here.
Oh god.
I'm having to juggle between two different computers right now, so somebody else
A majority of the questions are on the forums post of the dev blog. From now on, what we're going to try to do is concentrate all questions onto that forum post of the dev blog. It makes things a lot easier for us to like read off.
Yep.
So
now. Yep. All right. So without further ado, let's start jumping into these questions.
Okay.
Number one. What?
I said okay.
Oh, okay. Starting off strong. What is that thing behind you, Nick? Not the flag. This is something we talked about, but not for a while.
I'll take Warhammer for 500.
Is that your final answer? Varanus skull.
I'm pretty sure they mean the
lamp, filing cabinet, and most important, the patented Dualitous dice roller. Most important thing in the world. Anyway, but yeah, Varanus skull, most likely. Or whiteboard, possibly. Next question.
That's right, and that skull was made custom for you, obviously.
What's that thing behind you, Nick?
Are non-player solar systems able to be colonized by a group of players to form a territorial core for their alliance?
Yes. Well, it depends what the non-player solar system are. Some of them would be like gaseous, like death clouds, in which case you don't really want to colonize that to make your central solar system. But I guess yes, anything that has planets you can colonize. May not always be the best idea, but you can do it.
I think that's the answer. All right. So what percentage of systems out there will be non-player solar systems? Will it be enough for us to explore and make us feel like the galaxy is vast? In other words, is there going to be sections of space that isn't really colonizable but just explorable?
Yes, there will be a lot of it. What percentage? I don't know, but to answer your question, yes, there will be enough so that you have that feeling of exploration. What the percentage is, I don't know just yet, because we'll figure out the percentage based on infiltrator feedback on what is enough. Like, if the infiltrators say this isn't enough and it doesn't feel like we're able to explore anything and it's boring, then we'll add in more space. If infiltrators feel like it's too big and we can't find each other, then we'll take away some. So what is the exact percentage? I don't know. But oh god, sorry. Yeah, so yes, there will be enough space to explore, and there's a very high probability we will be even reducing the numbers of players per solar system. But again, that's a very easy thing to change and tweak, and we'll be doing based on user feedback.
Yep. Whoever is rustling things, please stop.
Holy Matt.
Shut up, you! I'm getting bread.
All right. Upon character creation, will we see the location of other solar systems on the map? or will our ships have to travel through sublight speeds to explore and reveal their location, i.e., fog of war? Will there be fog of war? How pervasive will it be?
Yes, there will be fog of war, and there's 2 levels of fog of war. There is the typical, like, going back to like the dawn of RTS days. You have the black fog of war, and you have the gray fog of war. Black, you have no idea what's there, and nor can you FTL there. Gray fog of war, you can FTL there, but you don't know what's going on currently.
So it's basically, it's like Civilization or something like that.
Yeah,
or at first, like, it's basically just a little circle with a whole bunch of black.
Yeah, it's the same Civilization, Red Alert, Command and Conquer, World of Warcraft, or Warcraft, like most of them. Same concept as that.
All right, great. After, are there any plans to incorporate a spectator mode or replay abilities into instanced battle simulations?
Yes,
spectator
there is
mode.
already that plan now. Yes, there is.
All right. Will the engine support various graphic settings for faster and slower machines?
Yes.
I know this one. We tested
Titan
it. We
toaster.
Yeah, we make sure
toaster.
we make sure that it'll run on a potato if you need it to, with a really bad internet connection.
Yeah, a potato in the middle of Russia. It will run on that.
It's toaster. We need to rewrite the code for Java.
Oh,
that was below the belt.
Shots fired. All right, so upon account creation, will our usernames be known by our Novus AEterno website forum names, or will we be able to pick upon logging into the game for the first time?
Yeah, so separate username. You create your character name or empire name you create upon logging into the game, which is not linked to, well, it's linked, but it has no relationship to your forum name or login.
Yeah, so your username is just what you use to log in, and then you have a display name that other people will see.
For both.
As time goes on, as time goes on after full release, if the need arises for more star systems, galaxies, NPC non-players, and player starting systems, is it an easy task to add more?
Yes.
Yeah, so one of our biggest priorities is that we want to be able to have a living, dynamic universe, one that is shaped both by players and by us, so that we can actually take impact into the game and continue to evolve things. Whether this means like the physical structure of the universe itself or NPC factions, so on and so forth. Having a malleability and a permeability to the universe is one of our core design principles. All right. In the last stream, you mentioned that players could load components on their ships that would allow them to scan enemy vessels to see their configurations. Can I counter that in case I don't want to, unless I want to keep my ship builds a secret?
Yes, you can. Via other components that will block scans and stuff like that. But
there's a cost to have.
Yeah, they do still. First of all, it'll take up utility slots on your ships, and also it will cost you some CP. So there is a cost to it, but yes, you'll be able to do it.
So electronic warfare and electronic counter warfare, basically.
Exactly.
Right. Yep. Although, if you see a giant ship floating through space and they've got all these protections that make it so you can't scan it, that's the ship you want to blow up.
Exactly. It's like the one ship that you don't know what's on it. It's like, that's important.
Or you have one of those flying around the target so they don't target your normal cargo ships.
True.
Yeah.
Well, I actually think that in order for that to be efficient, given the limited number of slots, it might need to be an AoE or a ship where if other ships, like allied ships, are nearby, it can kind of prevent scanning of those ships. Because taking up a utility slot is pretty big.
Well, most ships have 2 utility slots, at minimum. So
yeah, but what can they have in the other utility slot that justifies giving up a utility slot?
I think the short answer is that we definitely want to have that, but the balance of it is still up in the air.
I think it'd be worth it, because then you couldn't... Yeah.
Well, basically all the ships you wanted on, if you wanted them like a Corvette-style fighter craft, basically...
That would be pointless.
Yeah, but that would be pointless anyway, because there's like 5 slots in a Corvette anyway.
Yeah. What are you going to hide?
There definitely needs to be a sacrifice if you choose to conceal what you're bringing, though. All right, so kind of related... are there plans for a safe long-distance FTL travel through a sequence of beacons, i.e. E-style warp gates? In other words, once I've conquered an area of space, can I set up infrastructure that makes traveling between that space easier?
Yes, and that will be an alliance project. So something that you build with other members of your alliance to be able to travel, to be able to connect all the points of your joint empire.
Cool. What is the quickest shields can regenerate from 0 to 100%? Will regeneration rates be affected by being in or out of combat?
Regeneration rates are not affected by being in or out of combat, but they do cost supplies. These are the same supplies that are used for ammo.
Yeah,
I think what this question is really asking is, how can I tank my ship? Can I tank my ship to make it so that you pretty much can't kill it? Like in EVE Online, like you can tank your ship in such a way that you can make it so that certain DPS just won't break your tank.
No, you'll always be able to get some damage through, other than the limited time shields, which could block all damage for a short period of time, which would be very short. So that would be very micro intensive.
It's closer, combat style and the way the mechanics work is closer to something like StarCraft as opposed to EVE Online.
Yeah.
You're expected to lose ships.
Yeah.
All right. Do ships have collision detection with hostiles and friendlies?
Do they have collision detection with hostiles and friendlies? At the moment, they don't, due to server efficiency and stuff like that. Also, a problem is when you have 500 or 1,000 ships in the same battle, if you do include full collision detection for them on a 2D plane like this, it makes actually maneuvering around people pretty hard because you're bumping into everything everywhere. So at the moment, everything just goes up. We trust that whoever you put as your helmsman on your ships knows how to drive up and down as well to avoid people.
Yeah, like we don't have a true Z-axis within the game, and we've talked about this at great lengths as to why we don't, but it kind of makes sense given the fact that it's a three-dimensional platform that you should be able to fly effectively through people because you're flying either above or below them.
Yes. And that, if you've seen any gameplay videos, and as you'll see later on stream, you'll notice that ships are always going above and below each other.
Right. Does shield regeneration consume supply? We already talked about that. Will we be able to have types of ammunitions for ships that are specialized in energy missiles, flak weapons, for added depth to complexity in fleet crafting? Disclaimer, I love complexity and I'm a spreadsheet nerd. In other words, I can customize my
different weapon types. Yeah, no, I think that we've considered it, and we do have the capability to do it, but at the moment I'm thinking the best way is really to stick to having different components, because otherwise micromanaging exactly what kind of weapon 500 different ships are using will get, like, even as a spreadsheet nerd, like, without a pause button, that's going to get very complicated.
Yeah, and I would say that for those of you who want to, like, just continue to tweak the little differences, we have things like artifacts and other stuff like that, and the invention system that will give you that micro tuning that keeps you up all night looking at spreadsheets in order to try to figure out the optimal path.
And I guess something like different ammo types and such is not really a high priority right now anyway. That might be something we can, like, roll around
I'm not saying it's not a no, but at the moment it's not on our short to-do list.
And what I'm saying is that the mechanic of changing ammunition is basically like, I want to shoot the same gun, but I want it to have a slightly different property. And we have that in the aspect of, like, artifacts and stuff like that you can augment your ship with.
We're gonna have that for a couple of weapons.
Yeah, but it's not an across the board kind of thing. But there will be specific activatable weapons and stuff like that, or toggleable weapons that may have 2 fire modes and stuff like that. But it's not a generic thing where you could have ammo type A that you could load into different kinds of guns. But there will be some guns that have different fire modes and stuff.
We should have a spreadsheet utility which increases efficiency.
Just by,
you just take levels in spreadsheet.
Excel. It's called Excel. You use Excel and it increases your efficiency in game.
Will we be able to add components to ships that allow them to fix other ships? If so, will this cost supply? Will there be space ports?
Yes.
Okay. After
Did
Steam
you say will there be spaceports?
No, space priests.
I said will there be space priests?
Technically, it was space clerics.
Convert enemy ships.
Awesome. Convert enemy ships. Yes.
Convert or die. All right.
Whoa!
Actually, we're actually making questions.
Okay, let's stop for 1
to
second.
play more Age of Empires, jerks.
Let's stop for 1 second and answer some of the questions we had in the stream so far. First of all, will there be level of detail settings, which we can customize? Level of detail is in video games. They make multiple versions of the same model, for those people who don't know. And like, for example, the best example is our fighters in the game. The smallest level of detail of a fighter literally is just a box. And if you're really zoomed out and the fighter's really far away, it's just a box. As you zoom in, it'll render the different versions that are higher and higher detailed. Will there be level of detail scaling? Yes, there will, as I just explained how we have it in the game. And yes, it will be customizable, so if you have a really good graphics card or just stupidly high resolution, you can choose to have the render distance where the level of details change to be further and further away. Next question was, what is the status on the Kickstarter academic prototyper level where we get to design a module artifact of the game with one of the devs? This is still a little bit of ways out, maybe a month or two, because we want to finish adding in more options to our component development system so that the people who backed at that tier have more things they can pick from and more things they can make their component do. Such as right now we just added in 2 new types of components in a sense. One of them being cannons that are like epic long range artillery, like not cannons but like epic long range artillery, which Tom will explain later. And we're also in the final tweaking stages and bug fixing of getting missiles in and working, and also flak shields. So anyway,
yeah, the big thing is that like we have to at least build the foundations. We could talk about it like on a surface level, but really that's not that rewarding. We want to make sure that the system is such that once you say this is what I want it to do, we could literally just show it to you and you could see it and play with it and be like, this is neat. Talking about it and putting it on paper. Talking about it and putting it on paper is cool, but really what it boils down to is you want to be able to tweak with stuff. You want to be able to work with us, and you want to be able to look at what you've made and say, this is it. This is what I like. And so we want to make sure that the tools are there to be able to actually do that before we start opening that up.
Okay, one more question that was just thrown in chat. Can our in-game name be the same as our account username? If not, can I change my account username? No. Wait. Your in-game name to be whatever the hell you want. It's not linked to your account username.
Yes.
Yeah, if you want your in-game name to be the same as your account name, that's up to you. That's fine. Just some people like them to be different for the purposes of security.
Well, you don't have to change your name. That's what it just said.
Yeah. So
your account username can be whatever you want it to be. Right? Your in-game name, your whatever you want it to be. There's no relation to your account username. It can be the same if you want. It can be different.
Ryan is both giving a different answer and wrong.
Yeah, don't listen.
So yeah, you can have like I have the exact same name. Like I think my login is Pyrodante and my character name in game is Pyrodante, and it doesn't really matter. All right, so let's see. Let's go back to the other questions. We've still got a couple more. After Steam Early Access has started, when do you expect the second race to come into the game? I would say that, so the second race coming into the game isn't really related to the Steam Access thing. Like when there's enough mechanics in the game that it's fun, engaging, and the persistence is there, and we feel like it's something that people can experience and invest into, then that's a pretty good milestone for when it's ready for Steam Early Access. Now, whether or not Varanus is
Varanus will be the next race.
So whether or not the Varanus is ready before that point, which it probably won't be, but when the Varanus is ready, that's when we'll release it. When the game is mechanically solid, then we'll start Steam Early Access. What order or the difference in time between those two isn't quite clear at the moment. However, I think we're still, shooting for our goals.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's been several setbacks, but we're working hard on it. But I wouldn't really tie those two events together.
Yeah, no, they are completely separate timetables. Someone else asked another question: will we be playing today, or are we just focusing on Q&A? Yes, we will be playing. I think actually we can hop in game now or whenever you want to, Luke.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I'll switch now.
Yeah,
because they don't need to be seeing our pretty faces like this big all the time.
All right, so once a ship is constructed, can the player take the ship apart?
No. Sorry, what was the question?
Well, okay then. I do not believe that was the actual answer to the question. So I'm going to try again.
Okay.
Once a ship is constructed, can the player take the ship apart to get its components back? Can you decommission a ship?
Yeah, you can remove components from a ship, can't you, Matt?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, because you can retrofit the
everything
ship.
individually if you want.
Yeah, you can retrofit a ship so you can remove components from a ship.
Okay.
And you can also put new components onto ships and stuff like that. It's much cheaper than building a new version. You can like upgrade all of your current ships to the new tech you've unlocked.
Right now.
No, it's not working right now, but we're not talking about right now.
And then CP will just reflect whatever's active on ships, right?
Yes.
Okay. So if you take a module off and put a different module on, that'll change the number of CP, even though you haven't actually expended any resources. So really. Okay. Any plans for an interactive galactic map with real-time Alliance territories shown on the website? Oh, that'd be cool.
Yes, we do really want to do that. We haven't started development on it yet, but we do really want to do that and like looking forward to it. So I guarantee it will happen. When, I'm not sure exactly though, because it is quite a bit of work to do.
I will say that we're pretty much committed to two things. One, we're committed to giving you guys cool tools that allows you to experience the game in as many different ways as possible. And two, we're also interested in helping the developers out there. I mean, you know, I work for the corporation that makes Aura for EVE Online in EVE. And so, you know, we are very strongly pro third-party kind of development.
I would just like to make a comment here. It's like you work for the corporation that makes Aura. It's like, no, you play with them, don't you? It's like a clan you play games with, right?
Well, yeah, but we also we do software stuff.
Yeah, no,
like we do development together.
I don't know, but like when I like assist in making mods for DayZ and stuff, it's like I enjoy modding. It's a fun thing. It's a gaming thing. But it's about EVE Online. It's like, yes, I work with them. I am the chief financial officer in this organization. I replaced our last one who was fired for embezzlement.
So I make mods for Mojang.
My title is chief operations.
I work with Mojang.
So
anyway,
whatever. Any plans for? Oh wait, no, that was what we just did. If 3 players join the game and then stop playing, will the system that was created for them disappear, or will it stay open to other players?
No, it'll be open to other players.
Yep, the universe grows. It doesn't shrink unless we have to. All right, so that was all just one person. So thank you to John M81 for all those questions. Next one. I remember pre-Kickstarter this. Oh, wait, no, that's somebody answering. All right, so here's some more. You mentioned a Dyson sphere more than once that can only be built by factions and can take energy from all of the planets of the solar system. So aside from that, what exactly will it be its purpose? If it's just a troll weapon, or is it a super factory, or better yet, can you customize it to whatever you need? Supply storage, ship repair, and supply station, etc. Death Star-like fortress. Tell us more about what the value of a Dyson sphere is.
Dyson sphere is effectively a super planet that has no resource generation. So you can build it to do whatever you want it to do, and you can share it with your alliances. So effectively, it would be another form of epic planet. You know how the epic planets are a super planet that can be shared between players in an alliance? A Dyson sphere is the same kind of thing, but you can't mine any resources on it. But it is very efficient at many, many other things because it generates an insane amount of energy. So your production capability. So if you have factories and shipyards and stuff like that on a Dyson sphere, they will be much more efficient and effective than they would on a normal planet because they have practically unlimited amount of free energy.
So it's a mix between a moon, an epic planet, and a troll weapon.
And a Death Star. One Death Star.
We got Death Stars. All right, so
I just love the God Rays.
I've asked on the forums when early access on Steam will come. Yeah, we kind of talked about that already. We still don't have like a super solid firm date, but every time something else slides into place and a big patch comes out that helps make things more stable, that gets us closer.
Is that there's
way
the reason
more
why and then Matt breaks everything. The reason why I don't want to give a firm date right now is because it doesn't actually help any of the parties. Because either the game will be ready before that, in which case we release earlier, or the game won't be ready in time, in which case we release when it's ready. So it doesn't actually help that much to give a firm date right now. Next question.
real quick, I've been paying attention because Hearthstone has a big expansion coming out, and like everybody's waiting for the date, and they've been asking for a release date, and so they put out an official response saying that it wasn't released yesterday. So
It's Blizzard. It's ready when it's ready.
we can officially say that Novus Aeterno wasn't released yesterday.
Okay, there's also actually something that is very cool that Tom just posted in the chat, which I recommend everyone looks at the link for, which is the influence map of the Renegade NPC race in the galaxy right now.
Exciting stuff.
So this is the first initial, like, obviously their seeding is very random and stuff like that, so it's just like a Gaussian pattern, but this is, at the moment, the control that one NPC faction has in the current Infiltrator galaxy.
You actually have options to change that in a lot of different ways, so you can make it look just about however you like. And I'm actually going to be adding tools to the tool, like masking and putting your own images if you want to have like any sort of cohesive territorial mappings.
Yep.
I'm
also I mean, that map will be evolving based on what's happening in the game, obviously.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You actually will have another tool that runs concurrent to the servers and has a migratory pattern. So as NPC fleets sort of fight in different solar systems, fight each other, capture planets, they're actually going to migrate influence due to that activity. So this map will change with time. So
that is very cool.
Some way of merging that.
And you also have players that come in and just beat the crap out of people. Like, beat the crap out of the NPCs, which would obviously make them lose a lot of influence in those areas.
Exactly.
I almost feel bad for Tom because he's going to spend all this time making this perfect system of all these different pieces that work together and all this AI and this, he's going to be like God looking down on his like entire living and breathing universe, and then all the players are going to come in and just stomp all over it. It'll be great.
No, I'm not worried about Tom. I'm worried about all the players who do that. He has already begun concepting what is his admin ship in case people fuck with his NPCs too much, and it is the Killdozer space boat with optional flamethrower.
Yeah. So Tom is sort of like me playing Age of Empires. Oh shit, I'm so good at this game. This is such a good sim. And then you go play online, and asshole Zerg rush you at 2 minutes with ballistas.
Yep. Yeah, except for he's also the admin. So he's like,
Tom wouldn't do that. What would happen though is he would get progressively more and more aggressive with programming how the AI works, and eventually there'll just be an AI that's like, you know what? Fuck you guys. This is my universe.
And nukes.
Exactly. It's Gandhi. He will create Gandhi.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I heard about Black. Yeah. Oh, you never heard about the Gandhi and Civ thing? Yeah. So way back in the day in Civilization, Gandhi was so peaceful. Yeah. Well, it's done on purpose now. What it was that Gandhi was so peaceful that it like had integer rollover, and he suddenly became like totally homicidal atomic warfare dude. Anyway, I heard that. Here's the next question. Trying to rein this in a little bit because, like I said, we've got a lot of ground to cover. I've asked on the forums about when early access for. We just talked about that. I heard about black market hubs. From a dev on this forum. Could you maybe talk about it and whether or not it might make the 3 to 4 month early access release or not?
The black market hubs, I doubt they will make the early access, but they'll be coming in. There'll be a further evolution to the NPC factions. You have specific NPC factions that are very much into that, such as the Can you stop showing bugs in the game?
No, that's awesome, dude. I love that. That's like that's awesome. I love it how it looks. It's like an X-ray of the sun.
An X-ray of the sun. Oh no. What was I saying? Yeah. So, like for example,
push the sponge, it can fall through your hole.
So, for example, with the smugglers, the pirate smugglers, like they're all about the black market hubs and stuff like that. That's pretty much their entire empire, and all of the quests that they're offering are related around that and stuff like that. So,
yep.
The other thing is but it probably won't make the early access.
The other thing is that once we get a lot of the tools that allow you guys to progress, it's going to be really interesting to see what you guys do with our little sandbox, and then give you guys more tools for how things.
Yeah. On the internet.
I'm just thinking that the black market is probably one of those things that we're going to see how people are doing trade and what needs to happen to augment that.
Yeah, it'll probably be more of like a proverbial like filling up gaps on how people are using the trade system.
Yep.
Well, the black market is like a traditional MMO auction house where you can go and drop off your stuff, but there's penalties associated for both buyers and sellers. Like sellers may find their things just sort of disappear on them with no reimbursement, and buyers may find they're not actually buying what they thought they were, or after they've purchased it.
I think, well, that's the thing that was evolving on that concept. So I think we're probably going to avoid like too much of the randomness of shit disappearing. I think most likely what happens is that the law will start coming after you. And if you've read any of the lore on the law NPC race, you don't want them coming after you.
Screw the law, the Zealots.
The Zealots are the law. The Zealots are the sub-faction of the law that deals
I
with,
am the law.
Exactly.
Zealot.
They'll get Judge Dredd on your
zealots.
ass.
Oh, dude, with how
Anyway.
the sun is in our game at the moment, it might actually be a tactic to attack from the sun. With the sun and
Oh yes! Nothing like World War I fighter plane tactics in the space game.
All right. What can we expect for the new weapon system, missiles? We know that beams have a 100% hit chance but lower damage, while guns have a chance to miss but do more damage. What are missiles going to have to delineate themselves?
Missiles.
They one-shot Corvettes.
Missiles are first of all, missiles actually are a flurry of missiles. It's a salvo of missiles. And they have a 100% hit chance. They have very long range, very slow rates of fire, but they tend to be heavily defended via flak shields. So if you have like flak batteries and stuff on your ship, they will drastically reduce the amount of damage that missiles do.
I imagine that missiles might take more supplies too, because they're like bigger.
They do
just take up more.
They do take quite a bit of supplies, and they do have a fairly slow rate of fire, but they do have a significant amount of alpha damage, which is very valuable.
I would say like missile batteries probably like shoot a whole ton of missiles and then you just have to reload forever.
Yeah.
Basically.
I want to do beta damage.
Oh, this is gonna be a fun
can't
question
do
because
beta
I know the answer. Can you give me a rough number of inhabitable star systems that will be in the early access server?
Oh, yes, we actually have this number. Matt, do you want to say the number?
We do it?
Yeah, we actually do have the number.
Isn't it like 125,000 right now?
No, it was 1.6 billion.
Jeez.
I was wrong. I was off by a little bit.
Oh, by a little bit.
A functionally unlimited number.
Yeah, it's stupidly big number.
You're not going to travel to every planet in the universe, but
Blood
you
lie.
could-
we're if
Yes,
if there's that
Marcus,
many billion planets, you could visit a planet every minute for like your entire life.
every second for your entire life.
Probably, yeah.
Hey, but if you do it, I'll buy you dinner.
But it'll be a really cheap dinner trip, and I'll be dead.
Yes.
The joke's on you!
Joke's on you! You're dead. Okay, Marcus actually got the idea. Missiles will have the virtue of being the highest kind of nuke damage, as in like full alpha strike damage, but they'll be fairly easily mitigated. They also do have long range, and you don't want to be caught in close quarters against missile units because their incredibly slow reload speed will make them drastically less effective in close quarter combat, but they work very well as artillery units.
Alright, what is the galactic currency used within the game? Will the value of said currency shift from one region to the next? Can some sort of barter system work in tandem with the currency, making a variety for trading and selling to go up some? And in some regions, replacing currency, making your hard-earned coin essentially useless. I believe if you're going to be segregating trade aside from the black market, then adding in that randomness to trading would bring out a lot of creativity in players. So, how will how will goods be bartered? Or
Well, at the moment there is a basic currency that you can use to buy and sell things. We have been looking into. Oh, that capital ship just got fucked. I just looked over at the screen and there's like 80 lasers hit it and just like blows up. It's like, oh, this is gone.
Get back.
Back on topic though. We have been looking at seeing different ways to player-run currencies or being able to have players affect and play with the markets. But we don't want to add that in just yet, or we don't even want to start development on that just yet, because that's something that, if not done perfectly, can outright destroy the game. Like that. Yeah. Imagine Eve if someone could just make the value of SEK like worthless. It would
called RF Online.
It would absolutely destroy the game entirely, and it would be almost impossible to remedy.
Yep.
So without just a rollback. So because of that, it's something that we are approaching very cautiously.
Somebody pointed out that 1.6 billion seconds is just 50 years, and so he's expecting his dinner in 2064.
Okay.
So
Sure.
get on
There's
it.
also travel time between planets, so
Tom,
Well, yeah, you'd
find those planets.
you'd have to travel between planets once every second, so good luck with that. All right, so I have seen you making ships and modules in a lot of your live streams, but I don't see what it takes to make them. Is there a currency,
What was that, Luke?
maybe a population?
fuck you, Tom.
It would be odd to...
Jerk.
Sorry, Pyro.
It's all right. I'm just...
Go somewhere else.
I gotta keep things tied together. That's my
You
job.
do your thing, man.
I have seen you making ships and modules in a lot of your live streams. What I don't see is what it takes to make them. Is it a currency population? It would be odd to expend a population to make parts for a ship. You pay for the parts with corpses of... No, you do not make... You do not make your cannons from the blood of the innocent.
Actually, I would like Veranos to be able to have sacrifices to make.
Actually, I do want there to be like mystical artifacts that require a loss of population.
Need more blood!
Blood for the blood god. No.
No, they actually no. We need to have a shield that like eats crewmen every time you get hit. Like you have to be feeding crewmen into the shield.
There's like a crystal in the middle, and there's like people like having their life force sucked out of the.
Oh no, that is just so epic.
That's terrifying. All right, so the answer is no. There is minerals right now. The basic mechanic in the game is
yeah. Go ahead.
Is that you have mines that get staffed by people, so that's where the people get involved. They mine the planet and collect resources. Eventually, there's going to be crazier and rarer resources that can be
already. There's 3 types of construction resources and then 1 type of currency that is used to construct everything in the game.
Right. So everything.
Luke, when you can
we'll
open up
have crafting resources as well.
Well, so that.
Right.
Well, one thing at a time.
Yeah,
Luke, could you open up your Empire management window and just show that so they can see? If you'll notice on each one of the planets that Luke owns, which at the rate that things are going, there's not going to be many left by the end of the stream. Notice that in each one of them it has the population and then the construction credits, which are basic currency, and then your fortress shields don't seem to be working.
No, they don't.
He's not at a Fortress Shield planet.
No, I am.
Your fortress shields need more blood!
Exactly! Must feed the fortress shield with blood. What was I saying?
At this point, I think we've been pretty derailed.
Yeah. Anyway.
So yes. So yeah, if you look at the thing,
there is stuff that needs
there
to be
is
done.
there is fuel, or there's the different elements that you need, which some rare stuff will be used for like more advanced crafting and such like that you'll have to discover. But the planets, you mine the planets for most of the resources, and then also money. So components will take materials, money, and CP. The materials and money to construct it, and the CP to actually put it on an active ship and use it.
I would admit, this is a pretty surprisingly good stress test. I think, like, how many ships did you just spawn to fight
1,000. 1,000 is no issue for the game anymore, at all.
Admin on admin wars right now going on. I just spawned 1,000 ships.
But
so.
he's
I'm
cheating by
hoping-
killing all my ships.
So that is all of the questions from the thread. So I think we can move on to phase 2.
This is awesome. This looks so cool. Just look on the stream in a second when the explosions happen. When Tom is like going.
I love the new explosions. That's another thing that was in the game. Wow.
So that big pillar of explosions that was there looks like the Eye of Sauron.
It is a pillar of death.
That's pretty amazing.
So what do? I do death. That looks. I love the new explosions. They look really nice.
Yeah.
So, I feel like I need to read this out because this is really funny. What E28D said is, I just get back in the game and I haven't been on for a little while. The first thing I see on chat is, "Hooray, slavery!" Boy.
Well, all right then.
It's important.
GG.
And the funniest thing is that from there we led into the conversation of like feeding innocent souls to man your shields. Well, things just degraded quickly.
Necromancer race. That'd be actually kind of cool, like a race that literally like shoots undead like servants at other people's ships to try to like board.
Oh, I know. That is just that with Rodrigo's imagination, his ability to create just like horrifying creatures would actually scare the crap out of me.
This is why you should not be afraid of Novus AEterno ever stagnating, because we think of weird shit all the time, and so once like
too much weird shit. Wow, yeah. Just look at that fucking fleet, Tom. What the fuck?
Once the core game is built, we'll have plenty of time to just do whatever the heck we want.
Break out the death beam, Tom. Just one shot.
Look at the size of like the triangle of death formation that is like enacted in there.
Anytime you make a formation that you have to zoom out in order to see the totality of it.
You have to go into galactic view to be able to see how big the formation is.
It's like your formation spans between planets. Like, oh my god. Our fleet spans between here and Mars.
Exactly. It's not that big.
No biggie.
And that's in close quarter triangle formation.
Oh. Yep. Jeez. Yeah, it's 3 zones of conflict.
And I have to point out, the game still runs pretty well, and I'm like having a lot of software work setting
We've reached 4 zones of conflict.
There was 4 zones of conflict, but the triangle itself.
Yeah, it's spread through 3 entire zones of conflict. Oh, that is so badass.
All right, so
another good question: will we still be having these live streams after the game is launched? Yes, we will. Definitely. These are too much fun. Shit.
Yeah, we actually really enjoy doing
and we're way too good at this to like stop doing it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But and we have this honed to military perfection.
Yeah, maybe in like 4 years we actually know how to do an intro.
We're the best. We're the best. So, and then also we want to work with live streamers and stuff. So if if you're in the game and you're interested, let us know, and maybe we'll work with you guys to promote your live stream, or you can come on ours, or we'll go on yours. We're pretty open to actively engaging with the community. Do not see us as some grand viziers that know everything and issue down orders from on high. Like we really like getting
like those people with the hats.
Yeah, like Jafar.
No. I want to be Jafar. Jafar could turn into a freaking snake. That was cool.
Okay, we're all Jafar now.
He's a motherfucking snake, man.
He also got
but that was after he turned into a genie. That wasn't
actually
just
found an issue.
What?
And I can fix it. But I'm gonna have to restart, unfortunately.
No, stop.
It's crashed. Like,
there's still explosions. Who cares?
Yeah, I'm just.
That's why we're at negative
-100
cycles.
I don't care. It looks awesome.
Explosions are good. That's all I care about. All right, so I think we can go into the next phase. Tom and Daniel and Matt had something to present to the community, right?
I like cookies.
Yes. No.
All right.
First, like, Dan. No, you don't like cookies. No cookies for you.
You're lying.
So Dan has been hard at work at something that seems like it would be pretty cool. So why don't you talk about what you've been working on? Because new features are exciting.
I'll need the like massive beam sounds in game for normal music.
Okay.
Oh
cool.
yeah, I definitely plan on getting some amazing sounds for the new explosions. One thing that I've been I have been spearheading with Tom and Lance.
Jerk.
And Matt is the idea behind really getting solid questing system and sub-faction quest lines sort of really started off in the game and getting some content for players to really check out.
Cool.
Yeah.
So this will be the first access that players will have in-game into the Novus AEterno lore. Because aren't you making like lots of quest chains that have small stories that go throughout the game and delving into different elements of the lore and stuff like that?
Yes, we have the basic starting introductory quests for all of our sub-factions done, and there's a lot of room to expand for each of the sub-factions as we carry on different story arcs of the game and as we progress, and it's actually pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, but like in normal games, in like MMOs and like,
other people's games that aren't MMORPGs,
in other MMOs, i.e. MMORPGs, you do quests in order to get experience and level up. So, what would be, what's the onus to do these quests in
It's just so many explosions.
Novus? I am
so cool now.
incredibly distracted.
with explosions.
Yeah.
Cool. I just want to have this as a wallpaper, an interactive wallpaper.
Yes! Oh my god, that would be awesome. You just click on ships and they blow up.
Actually, I'm gonna make a screenshot of this and make it my wallpaper. Might as well.
Like those old cow and chicken desktop killing games.
That was hilarious. So yeah, so what is the reward for performing these?
Explosions.
Explosions. Well, we had talked about actually gaining favor with the sub-factions for carrying out the sub-faction missions, and we had talked about actually giving small rewards at the end of each quest in the name of credits or either rare resources or things like that. And also just for the fun of exploring the Novus universe outside of what we currently have.
And is quest grinding, whatever you want to call it, going to be an essential aspect of the game, or is it just another way to play the game? Are you going to feel required to quest?
I don't really see it as a requirement, but I mean, that's sort of like playing WoW, and you don't really have to do any quests in WoW, but it's kind of a major part of the game.
Yeah, I know. I see this a lot more open-ended than that. I think I would compare it closer to. I don't know what I'd compare it to.
It's like there's no real leveling. Like you get.
Yeah, no, it's more like Skyrim. Exactly. Like I never did any quests in Skyrim. Just fucking kill everything. And
yeah, if
free
you
roam to enjoy it, stuff like that. Like,
if you want to make your own way in the world, you can do that. Or if you want to dig into the story and kind of learn the relationships between people and take part in that, then there's that too.
Then there is that too, but like, sure the fuck to do that.
What is the point of getting a standing with a sub-faction? That is a good question.
That's actually the sub-factions, based on what they think of you, everyone's avatars in their webcams just been replaced by explosions, and it was just so much better than normal. Oh my god, that looked awesome.
That looked really good.
Like all of a sudden, like all the explosions stop. The entire fleet faces the camera and starts coming towards the camera.
That's actually because I took a screenshot and make it my wallpaper. So
that looks so awesome. Okay.
Screenshot and put it online.
Yes.
Yes, I'm gonna take a couple of screenshots out of this.
What was I saying? With the different sub-factions, yeah, each one they'll have different benefits and disadvantages based on how they feel about you. For example, if if a really aggressive sub-faction, militaristic aggressive sub-faction likes you a lot, they may support you if you're under attack in a zone of conflict. They may send over an NPC fleet to help you out. if they don't like you, they may attack you. Whereas, like the pirate smugglers, for example, if they like you a lot, they'll buy stuff from you. They'll allow you to have deeper access into their trades, give you better discounts, stuff like that. And if they really don't like you, they may sanction you and other things like that. So each different faction has different benefits and disadvantages for having them like you or not like you.
Yeah, and we've talked about being really creative about that. Like maybe as a human, your human stuff is not designed to interface with Varanus tech. But if you become good friends with a specific Cauldron-born faction, they might help you interface between the two. They might be able to provide you different advantages for, being friends with them. But obviously there's a lot of politics that go into that, because if you make friends with those people, then the people that don't like them will probably start not liking you. So invariably, if you want to advance in any of these chains, you're going to be basically making a choice as to whose side you're on in all of this churning chaos.
Yes. Okay, so I think this is actually a good time to lead into what we were thinking. A lot of you guys have been asking us for another lore challenge. Lore competition. What was it called?
I think it was just the story writing competition.
Yeah, story writing competition. So with that, and with the progress that Daniel has been making, and Daniel and his team of, what was it, Aggressive Strike Force? Aggressive Task Force? Like, what was his name?
Aggressive
Task Force. That's their nickname. I don't know why, but every time I see the ATF, I just think absolute total fucknuts.
You can call it that too.
I'm just calling it that just because, like.
All right.
No.
Well, that escalated quickly.
I don't know why. That was the first thing that came to mind. So, with all the great progress that he's been making, and he's been spearheading there, what I thought was, and what we discussed just before the live stream, is that we should do another lore challenge, but this time we would like people to write the pilot episode for a quest chain. Decide what's the first mission now, not gameplay wise, but lore wise, and the key to it. And then we'll give you a month to do this. So not next live stream, but the live stream after that, we'll review all of them and have everyone vote. But what we want to see is that which like quest intro gets you the most excited about like figuring out the rest of the story. Which one has the best hook? Which one grabs you the most? Just remember, there's just the first quest. There's the lore behind the first quest in a chain of quests. So think about like so how to grab the player, get them interested, and get them curious about what's going to happen next, what the plot twists will be, and stuff like that.
Yeah, imagine if you're like pitching something to a main, to like a Hollywood company, or a Hollywood producer or whatever. We just need the hook. When we read your thing, first of all, it should be fairly short, so that way we live in an ADD world. So I don't want to read
ADHD. We evolved.
We added an 8.
Exactly.
So
Asperger's.
So I don't want to read a book to understand what's going on. But if I can look at your quest or your pitch and say, I want to know more about that, that's who's going to win. The story, the hook that gets our attention the most, you will work with us, and we'll worry about the mechanics.
They'll be voting for it as well. But another important thing that I'd like to say on this topic, a good reference, if you want to get a bit of inspiration on a good way to introduce a storyline that's to have many more parts to it, look at pilot episodes for TV shows. You'll notice they'll all do a really good job of introducing characters, introducing the plot line and stuff like that, and ending in a fashion that you feel like you have gotten some storyline, but at the same time you're very interested to find out what happens next.
Yeah, because remember,
first episode's the coffee shop. That's it.
Remember, this is our questing system isn't a means to an end like it would be in an MMO, where like, I collect 7 bear asses, and I just keep doing that in order to gain levels.
That bear ass.
I'm doing a quest in order to experience content, and so we really want it to be dynamic and having it, or not dynamic, but like, interesting and story driven. And everybody laughs every time I start talking, which makes me think I've got like a booger hanging out of my nose or something.
I just can imagine Dan sitting there like deleting half the quest that he designed. Like, damn it, I guess I can't use the collecting bear asses endlessly. Shit, back to the drawing board.
90% of my production was bare ass.
Damn it. So, we want. It's kind of like last time where you're going to be telling a story, but we want it to be an interactive story, very much like an old school tabletop module or something like that. But, we're still working on the exact details. What we're asking for is a pitch, the hook, the initial quest, that first moment that makes people say, this is something I want to know more about. So if you can get us to say that, then we'll roll with it. Well, and then everybody will vote for it. And if you get chosen, then you'll work with us.
Very good question that was brought up by someone who I can't remember who it was. But is there any restrictions to it? For example, I think someone brought up a reference about what if it's a special kind of component that, like, obviously, if you're talking about some rare artifact, the end reward of the quest would be getting that artifact. Like, is there any restrictions like that? Tom, Dan?
Currently there is already some types of mentions of the other races, of other factions. You can make up planet names, perhaps an area of space like a nebula name that you can.
I know. What about like on the rewards end? Like,
rewards.
I would say for now, don't worry about rewards, because that's not the point.
I agree. Don't worry about rewards, but there is a good point. If the entire, for example, finding like the black ship, if your entire quest is all about this mysterious ship, then you probably have to have some reward. You have to be able to have a reward that is some way related to the ship or the ship itself.
That really depends on how the story ends.
No, I understand that, but what I'm saying is that would affect how you concept. That would affect how you concept the story.
Yeah, I would say that I would err on the side of just think about this as not something that only one person will experience. So it should be like something like a new landmark. It could be a new thing for that person, but it can't be like, you have found the sword of 1,000 truths and now everyone has it. And so it doesn't really seem that interesting. Like,
you all defeated the Lynch King.
Yeah. It's got to be something that it doesn't feel odd if other people have done it too. Like, for instance, unlocking Varanus tech, or finding how to interface with something, or finding or unraveling some thing that, like, maybe some people have done it, but only the people that have gone there and done this extra cool thing have gotten this stuff. Or
so maybe it's whatever. Like a Varanus research laboratory on some bizarre planet, and you go there and you unlock the secrets, but like everyone else also can go to these laboratories and find cool stuff. So try to avoid like one and only things, because that
I imagine Kool-Aid Man smashing through a wall, going, "Oh yeah."
And the other thing is that stories that create chances for player versus player style events, where we could give somebody else the quest to disrupt it, or it goes into places that might be
that wouldn't really be necessary
nature.
With the initial, like that's not as much in the initial. The reason I brought up thinking about the ship or a component is because that could be like the main. Like, I'm thinking about it
find
from
a treasure map or something.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it's kind of hard to say like you found a treasure map, but you're not actually allowed to give the player any treasures. Like, well, that's a bit of a ripoff.
Oh, we could definitely make it.
Because right now, Tom, don't we have the ability to gift ships to people and gift them? What other things do we have for rewards that are like in the process of like that you're adding in right now?
The biggest thing that we really need to add in is the ability to give people components and items into their warehouses, but we do have it such that you can spawn a ship owned by anyone right now, so we can actually give units to people.
Okay,
cool.
So that is open if you would like to have something following that path, but remember, it's a bit cliche if everyone finds like the sword of 1,000 truths, the space sword of 1,000 truths.
So, where do they send these entries, Nick?
They will be posted
P.O. box.
P.O. box. It's like, man, when was the last time you heard someone say, like, send it to our P.O. box?
Send the story with a blank check to P.O. Box.
Exactly.
Already signed.
Yeah, Blanchett already signed. It will be. I just completely blanked out. You will post the final entries on a forum, which Ryan is making right now. He'll give you guys the link to it. Remember, you can continue editing your post and stuff like that after you have submitted it, and we will do the final voting, not next live stream, but the one after that, which would be like around mid-end of July, or around mid-July, I think. June, mid-August.
So, Lord Tyrus, what we need you to write is like I said, the hook into the story, which generally it should be like the first quest, or maybe the first couple of quests, whatever. Like that first little bit, you want to get their attention the first 5 minutes usually in a story. So it should be that first quest or something that brings the person into that story.
Yep. So the basic, you'd have to cover kind of the basics of what it's about, and why you need to continue it, and if there's any important characters you need to introduce, you introduce that.
It is okay to make a mission where one faction is versus another faction. Be aware of the lore and the kind of interrelations. Like, for instance, if you decide to make a quest where the Cauldronborn decide to start attacking human settlements, like, you better have a really interesting reason or something that maybe that's a mystery or something like that, but that's totally out of their character. So if you're just like, oh yeah, the war race of the Cauldronborn are attacking the humans, we're just gonna be like, what? So as long as you make it make sense, then what? As long as you make it make sense and interesting, you could phrase it in a certain way where it's like a small group of people have been attacking this border colony, and rumor has it that it's Cauldronborn. Well, that is basically the exact same event, but now it's phrased in such a way that you're like, wait,
why?
But
what?
The Cauldronborn are good. Like, the Cauldronborn like us. Why would they be attacking? And so that actually might become a hook. So it's kind of how you phrase things and how you frame it.
Yep. Okay. I don't think there's any other things. If you have any questions, you can post them in the forum. And please, when posting your story, one story per person, just post your own story and that's it. You may want to save your story for the very end, so like no one else.
Why
can
can't
see
I
your
post
ideas.
other people's stories?
Yeah, no posting other people's stories. Yeah.
That would be mean.
Okay. Next, did we cover what was it? What else there was? Oh, Tom, the rape cannons. That's the best way to explain
These
it.
The rape
cannons will
cannons.
undress you.
They're actually not that strong. They're pretty well balanced. What you're probably talking about are the bolt rifles.
Bolt
And in the
actions in
past,
space.
what we added in the last few days were our take on the sniper rifle, which is known as the bolt rifle. It has a very small range, and it's a very expensive weapon, but it can deal out a fairly considerable amount of damage from a great distance. These are generally better as a very backline artillery unit, and they're kind of an interesting way to play the game. I like it a little bit. Basically, you just want to kite the front line of the enemy team and try not to die horribly. They're very susceptible to getting Zerg rushed, and because there's really not a preventative measure in the game right now for just bull rushing somebody, I actually lean towards them being a little underpowered right now. So I might give them a slight bump in damage in the next couple of days, depending on what I see, happening.
What's the weapon called? What's the component called? So people in the infiltrator server can actually play around with it.
What you can do is you can actually just scroll down to the bottom of the weapons list. It's the very last one. It's the Type 88Q bolt rifle.
Yes.
Wait, I missed that because
12,000 fucking damage. Holy shit.
12,000 damage. And it could shoot 3 times before it has to reload.
My computer heard rape cannon and just said, fuck this, I'm out. So I crashed. So I missed most of that description, but it sounds cool.
It's okay. I stumbled through it. I'm not a very eloquent speaker. But going back to it, essentially it's the sniper rifle weapon of the game. And it's the first among many that we're going to place in an effort to try and make weapons more specialized and make people's playstyles more unique and interesting.
Also,
very
I have to
cool.
say, one of the most interesting gameplay elements of this weapon is that its range is significantly longer than your fog of war view distance. So
Yes.
you can really make good use of it if you have scouting enemy positions, just like modern artillery.
So you've got
Wanna go ahead?
like this really fast Corvette comes up to you and you're like, oh, it's gonna be bam.
Like bam! Yeah.
The thing is, it's all about deceptiveness. Like this weapon, it hits so hard that you're pretty much gonna lose a ship right off the bat, and you're gonna think, oh my god, I should run away, and that is the worst thing you can do because they have a full minute reload and they have a full minute cooldown, and then they have to reload every 3 shots, which is another 30 seconds. So you can just walk up and kill them, but it's a very intimidating weapon. It feels very, very powerful. And I want to see some really cool effects. Like I want to talk with our artists and see what we can get in, in terms of like a beam shockwave kind of effect. The original concept, which due to tech limitations right now we had to draw back on, was to have both projectile and beam damage. We were going to make it do 8,000 projectile and 4,000 beam. Right now we sort of made it 12,000 projectile until we can rework one of our damage calculations. But that is something that I want to see in components. Huh?
You already can do that.
Okay,
So
well, apparently we can do it. I just don't know
Didn't
how
know
yet.
you could.
I want to be able to buy
Well, I
buy
tried,
via
but there was-
microtransaction. I want to be able
Huh?
to buy via microtransaction a thing that when I use it against somebody, everybody in that zone of conflict hears boom headshot.
We should make like the confetti headshot thing.
Let me
Straight across
find.
the bow. Yeah, like they explode like a piñata. That'd be amazing.
Well, since we're talking about it, I guess I'll do a little demonstration. See, Luke, what solar system are you
Bend
in?
over.
Wait a sec.
I'm gonna
The
spawn
other
very
thing Dan
simply.
wanted was space stations. I'm adding that in right now.
I'm in.
Build these
yeah.
in space.
I'm in solar system
Okay.
771, by the way.
Do we have any? So it is now
Alright.
already past we normally consider our limit. Now, again, we have so much stuff to talk about. I don't care. We can keep going. But I was wondering if we had any other news or.
I think missiles are coming along very nicely, and flat shields. We'll definitely have them in by next live stream. We're trying to get them in by this one, but there's still a couple more bugs we need to work out. I think that covers it. I think it's time for people to start posting like final questions and stuff like that, because it is 1 a.m. for us people in Europe. And,
Yes.
like,
Yeah, so-
we're sleepy.
Can
So
someone
just-
explain to me why we call this flex shield? That's so weird. It is
No,
not shielding
I'm
against
just calling
flak.
it's a flat battery.
Yeah,
Flat batteries.
flak guns or whatever. Yeah.
Well, no, technically it's a flat battery array because it is actually like more than one. Like
Because
one. The reason I'm calling it a shield is because it actually fits into the shield slot of a
Yeah.
ship.
Okay,
It's a
fair enough.
defensive module.
Yeah,
Just
it fits in
like-
the defensive modules, which currently are called shields.
I'm pretty sure that AJ doesn't know what the flak is. Because according to his
Yeah,
Facebook
you
post,
misspelled it.
it is actually defending against flak.
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh no,
which
the
is not in
flak.
fact the case.
Okay, so Luke, we're
Put
not
that
gonna
there,
immediately go to war here,
Oh,
buddy.
we're not. Oh, we're not.
Don't shoot me.
I just shot you in the face.
If you shoot me, my death beam of rapiness will rape you.
So
Well, I can spawn the death beams, but I actually want to show off.
Oh no, wait! I'm shooting someone else in the face. It's fine.
So to briefly
Yeah.
summarize kind of what
It's
we've been
someone
talking
else,
about-
doesn't matter.
Oh my god, guys. No. So to briefly summarize what we've been talking about, we have been answering a whole bunch of your questions, which the questions are on the forums, which can be linked again. And actually there are answers there too, but obviously hearing it from us is probably the best, fastest, most accurate way of getting information. And then we've also talked about the new questing system, which sounds pretty cool. And in relationship to that, we are asking for you guys to send in like a hook or the first set of a quest chain And if it's interesting and exciting, and we'll put it up for a vote, and whoever wins will work with us to actually make it be a real event in the game. We talked about customization, further customizations of weapons, including the death cannon, which I find really cool. And what else? There's something else. Missiles, which are coming soon, and
space stations.
What makes them strong? Oh yeah, and Dyson spheres. But that was one of the questions that we answered.
Yeah, and space
I need to
stations.
hijack this. I don't know how much longer Luke's going to be able to restrain himself.
No, I'm just
It's alright. No,
Yeah,
go kill
yeah.
each other.
Yeah,
It's a good finale.
Okay, I'll do what he
So
says.
hold on. Well, Luke,
Michael
Setney
Bay.
is not an enemy. Come on, buddy. We're trying to show off the cannon here. Set neutral, buddy. And then you shot me again.
So the next
Friendly.
live stream will be 2 Saturdays from now, and will probably be earlier in the day.
Yes, it will be a bit earlier. Otherwise, it goes a bit late for everyone in the EU.
Yep. It's
Like
funny
that.
because we understand that you guys, we have people all over the world that are interested in the game, so we need to make sure that it's set at a time that's useful to everyone. And we deal with that challenge intimately because our team is across the entire world, and so Nick, it's like 1 o'clock where you're at, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So that being said, Nick needs his beauty rest, so that way.
Wait, one
he can
thing
track the-
before we head off, Tom, can you select one of your ships and show the fire arc and range of?
Well, that's why I'm trying to. We've got a couple of things to show still. One of which is actually really cool for Denny. He was pretty excited about it. So let's, Luke, go ahead and select one of the smaller ships, one of your cruisers that I spawned for you. Those are equipped with the Type 88Q, also known as the barbecue guns.
Oh, Jesus, this one? That's like a fork. Or like...
No, that's something else. Here, I'll
no,
help you along.
I have it selected now. I have it selected.
That's a lot of
Okay.
firing arcs.
Yeah,
Oh, no, all my shit is firing.
that's not the right ship. Here, I'll help you out.
No, I actually
Well,
had the
remember-
right ship. I had the right
Hold on,
ship.
remember. There's a significant delay between what you're seeing and what he's doing.
Yeah, Tom didn't remember
So-
that, but whatever.
Here. So, in just a second, Luke will have
Wait.
the appropriate
Boom, boom,
chips,
boom,
and
boom,
only
boom,
the
boom.
appropriate chips.
Is that really just a line? Is that the firing arc?
Yeah.
But
Oh,
to
that's-
go into tactical view mode.
Oh
In tactical view mode, you can't see it anymore.
Yeah, the
Ah.
firing arc on the Type 88Q is 2 degrees. So, bull rushing it.
All the fight forces.
I killed them all because he had the wrong
Oh.
ships.
This is such a bullshit
Okay.
weapon.
This is why we don't have Tom on every time.
Yeah. Well, no, I want to show off the specific weapon.
But-
All right, so as you can see, it's basically just a tiny little line, and that's meant to be that way. It provides vulnerability at close ranges.
Isn't it like a 5-degree fire arc or something
But-
you said?
If you like,
2 degree.
if you use a ship in support of another player's fleet and you just flank someone with this, you will absolutely fucking die.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, like now let me send in just a few dreads who are already weak.
Yeah, and my shit is actually reloading now, so I am not able to shoot. I'm gonna run away. Fuck you. Go away.
Yeah, like your
I
options are run like hell, but that's not going to work very well either because you're in a combat timer.
Well, I can
Yeah.
still...
And you can't just FTL away, right?
Yeah, you
Your,
can't
your,
FTL
your
when
best
you're in
of it,
combat.
your best option really is actually just head at them straight on, like just charge.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
pretty hilarious.
and it's really
Actually,
it's interesting because
would it
right,
be charge them, or would it be move at like an angle? Because if they've got a 2-degree firing arc and you move at them like a spiral in sort
as
of
soon
thing,
as they turn to look at you, they fire immediately.
Yeah, they don't have
as
a
soon
target.
as you're within the firing arc, yeah. But that
Okay.
also sort of reinforces something that this game, people don't really respect enough about it. They neglect to move and shoot. You see it in like tank games, where people will sort of keep moving and rotate the cannon and shoot. You can do that in our game. You can still fight while being
You
mobile.
can be
and-
Korean.
And that's actually kind of an important part about combat, and this reinforces that, which I really like.
It's important to be Korean.
One thing I was
It's
thinking that we
important.
should actually
8 p.m.
add
8
in-
p.m. 8 p.m. 8 p.m.
Oh,
actions per minute.
I thought you said 8 p.m. I was like, no, it's 1 a.m.
It's 8 p.m.
And
Somewhere in the world, it's 8 p.m.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
One thing I was actually thinking we should maybe want to do, if we find that these sniper cannons are a bit too powerful, we may want to increase their accuracy reduction if they are moving.
Oh no, dude. I mean, they are fucking
So that way they
powerful,
don't plant
but
themselves.
just the fact
Well,
that you
I
know it
really
takes
am not
reference
of the
to
opinion
both.
that they're going to be overpowered. I designed them thinking they were going to be. I was sort of planning on drawing it back, but after having played with it for a while, something that you have to realize is that they're very expensive. They are extremely expensive components, so you can't just spam them.
can
They're
only have
really meant
5
to
in a
just
fleet.
take out.
And
You
even
can have,
then,
like,
you can't have any hulls in that fleet.
Also, this is basically like line of a musket man. Once they shot, they are basically screwed. Because you have to do that forever.
So it's basically, it's not an army, it's a support for an army.
Yeah, it's a back artillery, and it's meant to really take out one high priority target and then get the hell out.
Yeah,
That's
it might
pretty
be
cool.
fun. I'll play
That
it.
is-
Yeah, no, I think it definitely fills the role of artillery.
Now, Luke, what I would like to do is, can you go ahead and spawn some more ships and actually put the audio on the client? So I want to show off the dynamic zones of conflict.
I'll spawn like 500.
They should do the Draven cheer when you win a zone of conflict.
I don't think that Nick has seen this yet.
No, actually, I haven't. The new dynamic music.
Yeah.
I have not seen that yet.
Oh,
heard
Basically, music
You mean you
plays.
haven't heard it yet?
Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
I
yeah.
guess fair
Oh,
I
enough.
haven't
That's
seen it
pretty
with my
cool.
ears.
it also means that when you
Music
zoom out, the
plays in
tactical
zones of
stops.
conflict, depending on how many units total there are, as well as the ratio of your forces versus their forces. So you have 12 different songs that can play, winning, losing, and neutral on
Losing.
skirmishes, battles, wars, and epics.
I can just imagine now, like, people, like, go into war just to listen to Denny music. Or, like, you know, zones of conflict.
Alright,
You know how
I need you to send 25 people, and we'll shoot at each other, because that's, if I bring 12 and you bring 25, then that's what invokes the music that I want to listen to right now. So,
No. That's not what it is. You know what? Because you can see zones of conflict on the map, and you hear the music even if you're not in the battle. So what happens? You have people searching out zones of conflict just to listen to the music.
it's like the spectator mode on steroids.
Exactly. Oh no, that'd be awesome.
This is not the Zoc I want.
It'd be hilarious, like, if we had an API for that, so then they could, like, create automated tools that would help hunt. Like, you put in a song, and
And it will find
it'll, like,
what.
roll API to try to find where in the universe there's
That
a
song's
fight
playing.
that plays that song.
That is actually pretty cool. But I'm really glad that we finally got the dynamic music and stuff like that in.
And then it would take that long after all.
Somebody said that the losing music sounds good, which I'm not sure if that's... I'm not sure how to take that.
I'm pretty sure I'm not losing this fight.
All of our music sounds good, so it should
But-
be taken with pride.
So this reminds me of an old, back in the day with MMOs, I had an add-on that when I died, it would play Peggle. So, like, I'd be like super stressed out, oh my god, I'm gonna die, oh, Peggle, yeah. You know, like, so even when once you start losing, you're just like, oh, that music's nice. Oh, well, I guess I'm dead. Fair enough.
Not that one better than expected.
I handled it.
I really should actually do it, like, mod my DayZ client to do that. Because I get so stressed out when I die in DayZ. I just do that, like, really calm, soothing music, like jazz or something. Like elevator jazz when you die. Like the You Are Dead stream, just elevator jazz.
Nice. I was thinking like the end of Hulk when he's like walking away on the street, like the dun 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 dun. All night. All right. Whew. Is that? Did you want anything else to show off? Anything else, Tom?
No, I'm just coming in with death themes, and then we can call
Show
it.
off all the things.
I have one thing to say. I bit the bullet, and I'm actually gonna maintain our Twitter feed now. Probably.
Nice.
If I actually figure out how that shit works. So, if you want
Just
to, you
twat
can
all
follow us
over
on-
it, and that's how it works.
Yes, try hard that shit. You can follow us on
I'm actually-
Novus on Twitter, and I'll just be spamming shit. Mostly what we put on Facebook as well, but also probably random stuff I get from Tom or the artist maybe and stuff.
And if you have any cool videos or pictures, or like you find a YouTube channel or somebody's discussing this stuff and you think it's worth attention, send it to us. Let us know what's out there, because we can't be everywhere on the internet. So if somebody has some cool video on YouTube and you find it, bring it to us and we will highlight it on Facebook. Or if you're making a video, send it to us and we'll highlight it on Facebook and on Twitter.
Right. Someone just said in the stream about regular updates outside of streams. Like, you've clearly been missing the dev blogs.
Yeah, dev blogs are super important. As a matter of fact, I would say probably arguably more informative than actually listen to us trying to talk.
Streams are more entertaining. It's the same thing you get in the dev blog, just portrayed more comically.
Somebody said, do we have any plans in the future to allow us to build Death Stars? No, because we don't want to get sued.
But that is no moon. No, we have, what was it? That is no moon?
We have plans. Yeah, we have plans to let you produce That's No Moons. Yes. So take that for how it is and don't sue.
Don't sue us, please.
Disney are not, no. Everybody laughs every time I make this joke, but Disney is a scary company.
They will sue you. Oh my god, how many capital ships did you just spawn?
Suck it.
Oh my god. Alright, let's do this. I'm ready.
Oh my god.
What do you mean capital ships? What?
Alright.
Oh, well, he made quite a few. He made quite a few.
Ships. What an asshole.
That's okay. I've got death themes, he's got capital ships. We'll see how it goes.
I'm gonna
lose. Oh my god.
That actually reminds me, who was at, what was it, PAX East?
Man.
Yeah, PAX East when Igor was there with us. And like Igor was just like endlessly spamming capital ships, but we forgot to tell him don't do that, and they were coming out of the sun, but it was the only unit that he knew, because he couldn't figure out how to build the ships normally, it wasn't working for him, so he just kept on just spamming capital ships. I was in the middle of a demo to just some media, and all this fleet of 80 capital ships. I was just like, what the fuck? Where did that come from?
Nice.
Oh my god, there's a lot of capital ships.
On that note, guys.
Oh, that one works.
Well, alright then. Epic music. Alright, so on that note, guys, I think it's about time to wrap this up. Thank you all for coming. Thank you, those of you who have been part of this. Daniel, Tom, Luke, Matt, and Nick. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us and talking about Novus AEterno and getting people hyped up. We are definitely still on full speed ahead, getting ready for Steam. We have a bunch of stuff coming up soon. Hopefully, we'll have some more lore stuff coming out. We've got new features like this coming out. We've got new stuff that we need you guys to test. And we're definitely interested in making sure that people are interested and keep getting kind of the hype building as we move towards a more stable, we have actually something that's useful to show people kind of environment. So thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us. Thank you for watching. And I guess we will see you in 2 weeks.
Yep, sounds good. Yes. And don't forget to check the forums about the lore competition thing with the quests and stuff. Yeah, awesome, man.
The question. Well done. That's all I was gonna say. Well done. All right. So on that note, I ask all of the people, all of the panelists, to mute yourself so that Luke can play the outro music.
Yes.
We have outro music?
Oh, Admiral Night Out. Does anybody want to talk about Admiral Night Out before we go?
Yeah. That was actually a lot of fun. For those of you who did show up at the Admiral Night Out, we all went on, was it Civ 5? And it was actually a strange feeling when you realize that, like, my game is more stable than Civ 5 multiplayer with, like, 12 people.
Yeah, I didn't notice in time that we were going to play it that day.
Yeah, but it was still fuckloads of fun. And everyone, like, AEterno will probably put up another post about it, and I will include it in the next dev blog for people who do want to hop on Admiral's Night Out. It was a lot of fun, and I believe we're planning on playing Hearts of Iron next. I'm not sure, but we're still discussing and voting on things. All right, guys.
All right. Have a good one.
Yes. See you all. Bye.
See you.